When considering how to play your hand, the texture of the flop is just as important as your actual hole cards. The EV of your hand, even if it's the same absolute hand strength, changes wildly based on the board texture. For example, Ace-Jack is the same top pair, top kicker on both of these boards. However, its EV, or how much money it actually stands to make, will drastically vary from board to board. On the Jack-6-2 flop, a hand like Ace-Jack is very likely to remain a strong hand at Showdown, almost no matter what the turn and river bring. Conversely, on 9-10 Jack, Ace-Jack could end up being very weak by the river. It's much easier for the board to run out 4 to a straight or a flush, making one pair shrivel up rapidly. The more likely it is that our hand's strength, that is, its equity versus our opponent's range, will fluctuate over the course of a hand, the more cautiously we may be forced to play. After all, we don't want to shovel a lot of money into the pot and then end up instantly folding on a bad turn or river. Our overall strategy, which is to say how we play our entire range of hands as opposed to just one individual hand, will depend on board texture to a large extent. It will also depend on the range of hands possessed by our opponent in a given spot. In some instances, the presence or absence of a specific hand in our opponent's range can drastically shift our flop play. If we're the pre-flop caller on Queen Jack 10, and we know our opponent can easily have Ace King, we must play our hand with far more prudence, even with the second or third nut hand, like King 9 or 9-8. If we're confident our opponent can never have Ace King based on the pre-flop action, then suddenly this board becomes a much better opportunity for us. If you want to get better at responding to flop textures in real time, practice identifying the top and bottom of your opponent's hand range in a given spot. What are the strongest and weakest hands they might reasonably possess? If the flop is 7-4-2 rainbow, the strongest hands in their range may be any of the sets, while the weakest may be something like 8-9 suited without even a backdoor flush draw. They'll also have a lot of other random overcards on a board like that. Establishing the top and bottom is a good starting point for how to build an overall strategy against that range. Once we know what possible combos lurk at the extremes, we can start to figure out which hands are more or less likely to occur.